Alright, we're live.
Sweet.
Exciting.
Y'all's faces is all over the place.
You should check my post in the Reddit thread. It's really good.
What's the post?
I went on a rant about how we don't have a random player for their perspective on the metagame right now and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we can't really talk about the game without one.
The metagame right now and stuff.
No.
Yeah.
It'd be unfair.
It'd be completely biased. I mean, that'd be like doing a show without a Taran.
And then I
like,
did
who
the math.
Fuck does
We've
that,
never
Jeff?
had a random player on. So there's like some secret.
No, Day 9's Grandmaster with random. What are you talking about?
But he's not true random. Stefano says he's Grandmaster with Taran, but we know that doesn't count.
Yeah. I mean, he was at y'all's frat house, so... I don't really know how
Hey,
much we
he
can trust him.
apologized. I'm good.
He apologized for what?
He did for saying
For
that.
saying frat house, yeah.
Oh. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why
I
would
think this
Stefano
guy's really bad.
apologize?
He doesn't apologize.
Stefano has never apologized in his entire life.
Yeah, I know. I know, Greg. I know.
Oh yeah, that's right. Still, huh?
We're in space, guys. Oh my god, is Tyler on the fucking show prior to actually being alive?
Prior
It's
to
a goddamn miracle.
Is it a Christmas miracle?
No, it's
No,
a
it's a
Jewish
goddamn
miracle in
miracle.
honor of Dan not being here.
It's using my wrong camera. What the hell? I was showing my desktop.
Hey, what's up? Noti's desktop. Or I can't even say the fucking word. The fuck?
I think this is going to be a good episode. JB seems very, very into it.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it, Greg.
Oh,
Video settings. There we go. There we go.
I still see a question mark.
Yeah, nothing's really. It's just you and
Oh,
your
there's.
frozen image.
It's not even showing anything. Oh, let me hang up. And...
Alright. Who was that guy that just pulled a 180 on the camera?
Oh, Conrad. He's management and creative for EG.
Game 1 took 8 minutes. This is going to be the stuff of legends.
How's that? Check it out. Is it working?
No.
I still see a
What
question
the
mark.
hell?
I mean, you. Oh, there it goes.
I see Tyler.
Okay, here
That's a
we go.
gigantic fucking headset. Holy shit!
Yeah, what
I know,
headset is
man.
that?
Oh, wow.
It's a Razer headset.
Dude,
The
Tyler,
Razer, like, behemoth.
have you seen this headset before, Tyler?
Bears. The answer is no
No.
to that question.
It's the fucking
What is that?
No.
best headset I've ever worn, man.
No.
What?
Must be
What
made by
makes it?
Sony.
Steal your
They're
bone?
Ars Technica 700s.
Did you steal the bone,
They're
Paul?
fucking sick.
Yeah, she did.
Who are we missing?
Yeah.
Where's that rascal QXC? He shaves his head and doesn't
If
even
we
shave.
don't have a Terran player on
I
the
know,
show,
you're off.
There's no- there's no
do you
point
understand
having
what's at stake?
It's in your contract,
JP.
Jeff. I know you're off the show if we don't have a Terran.
I will leave.
I know.
Never look back.
I'm aware.
Tired of this biased shit.
I should put a 15-minute delay on the show just to piss people off.
We should have an Avilo bat single, or signal rather. It's like a giant complaint sign or something like that. Is there a complaint sign? Should we make one?
We could just... I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, Jeffrey.
Yeah. I think there should be a universal complaint sign.
Like
I
the
don't-
sarcasm punctuation.
Alright,
Yeah.
guys, we're
Oh,
on
yeah.
the... I think we're on the front page of Twitch today.
Ooh.
That's cool.
I think. Ben Goldschlager, Haber, whatever his last name is, hooked us up.
Fish sticks, as
Fish
he's better
sticks.
known.
That's easier to say, too.
Fish sticks.
We're not on the fucking front. This is bullshit.
I think Kevin Knox's strongest argument for us needing to switch our names to our professional real names would be Fish Sticks. Can you imagine being, like, having your account handled by Fish Sticks? You're like, trying to make your company all big and stuff, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Fish Sticks. I'll be taking care of this for you." What the fuck? Give me the other guy. What, you mean the gun run? That's it. I'm going to Own 3D where they have Kelly Milkies. At least she takes shit serious.
Wait, is that where she streams?
She works
No,
there.
she works for them. She has like a job.
She's the fish
Oh,
stick.
no wonder the
Okay.
company's doing so bad. Like, How does that make any sense?
They're not doing so bad, JP.
I know.
Are we live?
I've got Destiny. We
Yes,
are live.
JP talking shit live?
I
Yeah.
am. I don't give a
Oh.
fuck, Tyler.
Real Talk's giving them an
JP,
ego.
no
Yeah.
fluff.
I'm getting all confident because
Oh.
of real
People
talk,
like me
man.
now.
Yeah. Who else is on in control? That's it. How's Oakland? How many thugs have you had to dodge?
Dude, Oakland is sick. I live in the hills, man. With white people.
Oh, they can't reach up there, can they?
I can't. Is it surrounded by water too?
Their
Is
El
that what you're
Caminos
saying?
don't have the acceleration to get up those hills, right?
What?
Their El
Oh.
Caminos don't have the hill.
Oh god, I gotta turn on lights.
So many
Man,
folks
that's
were
whack
just-
up shit in that hill. Now, have I told you that I now am the owner of a pocket abacus?
No.
Can I ask you this simple question? How jealous are you?
I don't know what it is.
You don't know what a pocket abacus is?
Oh, literally a pocket
Yeah, literally.
abacus.
That's how we're keeping score tonight in the great debate.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, literally.
Yeah, no,
it's
we're
like
actually keeping score, man.
It's some new Amazon product or something.
If you have another webcam,
yeah.
we'll have the Pocket Abacus webcam.
Azale got it for me, and he said that he heard that you can actually make, like, you're supposed to be able to do any kind of mathematical equation on
Yeah,
it, right?
no, it's like the oldest mathematical tool in the world.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Can't believe they made it pocket size. That's so awesome. All that power.
You guys should get an abacus wall in the EG house. Just
like a
have
mural.
a giant one.
Oh, a giant one? Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Then you could do, like, even more math, I think.
All right, QXC is at the fucking Complexity frat house. He's not answering my calls.
They're probably too drunk.
I won't stand for this shit.
He's afraid of the balance discussion because he knows that Taran's still overpowered.
I know.
Isn't EG sponsored by some kind of processor already?
Intel?
By what?
Yeah, I mean, Abacus is a competitor.
Oh, shit.
Oh god.
I don't think you can show that on stream.
Damn it, Tyler.
Dude, Jeff, we need to start this. Instead of team houses, they're all frat houses now. That's the name of it. Except if they're in Korea.
You're going to upset.
Frat house.
Am I going to piss off TB by doing that? I don't
Yeah.
think so. Me and TB are old chums.
Everything kind of pisses him off, even if you are friends with him. So, you know.
That's actually true, though.
Oh, guys, we're on at the same time as the Colombian WCS finals. Shit.
Fuck. How are we going to compete with that?
Well,
Shit.
MVP with IM just finished, so we got lucky.
Who was playing in the local strike? Okay, they have 140 viewers watching it. We can't go live.
JP, are you going to go full arrogance on this? Or like,
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say something else. I was like,
Nah.
Why do they have so little viewers for the? I feel like the Germany one was actually really good production.
did you just ask why WCS Columbia has so few viewers?
No, it's like promotion. Like, is Blizzard actively promoting that shit? I'm not. I'm
course.
completely
They
unaware.
they link it to the little ads on like the intro screen and stuff, but not really.
Do they have it in game?
Yeah, and like that loading, like the front page where there's a picture of Rainer or whatever, or the new one. The side ads are about WCS a lot.
Weird. You guys want to listen to Call Me Maybe on repeat?
God damn it! Oh, if it's the video of the Harvard baseball team doing it.
The what?
You haven't seen that?
No, man.
I'll link you.
I actually play StarCraft, unlike you.
Oh, fuck that shit.
That's the biggest lie I've ever told.
You have no passion, Shapey.
I can't watch that, man. This is going on YouTube.
No, watch it.
No,
Why
I
not?
can't. Because
Why not?
YouTube will fucking be like, well, that video's not ever going to be on our side, and they'll just kill it.
Oh, okay.
Tyler,
Well,
I like how your face is so serious and so huge. Oh, QXE's back. He fucked it up. Oh, look at that. I don't even have to make any webcam things. It just works. How's it going, QXE?
Fucking Taran. Just works.
Just works,
Pretty
man.
typical.
He's not talking, though. He's very...
He looks confused.
He's
All right.
waiting.
This game I'm going to win in about 6 minutes.
Who are you playing against, Jeff?
Oh, that'd be mean to out him like that. But
Well,
all
maybe
this he's dead. Okay. I can proudly say that one stalker got 7 kills. My first stalker, by the way, got 7 kills. That was kind of
So
cool.
you're probably either, well, was it on Lings or Marines?
Marines.
Ah.
NFTV. Yeah.
Is it a Velo?
JP, Avila doesn't play later rounds of tournaments.
I'm sorry. QXC, why aren't you talking, buddy? I can't hear you, man. You gotta set your mic thing to your Skype thing. I'm using the technical terms.
Clearly.
Is it hot?
Tell you what,
Oh, go ahead,
the
Jeff.
weirdest thing you can do as a StarCraft 2 like celebrity or professional player is take off the protective thing where people can now message you.
Mhm.
Get the weirdest messages, man. And
That's
I've played about this before, but I still don't understand how they know. Like, do they
Yeah, you
just send
get
messages to
instantly
you
messaged. It's kind of creepy. Like, I don't know.
just all the time?
QXC, you're not making creative look good, man. You gotta get that headset working.
You guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, we can.
Okay, perfect.
Oh my god, his webcam is flawless.
Well, thus ends the great debate of whether or not headsets are balanced.
Yeah, I guess we're done with this show.
Let's see.
What are we seeing?
Well, I just ended that round, so I'm going to see if we can, if I bought us some time, because I played that a little bit early.
Oh.
We
No, I
actually-
think the
You
show
want
will
me
be
to
better.
you want me to message John and just be like, hey, look, can you
Just make him win the thing.
can you just make
Forfeit
Jeff
all
win
his
this thing?
opponents.
Let's see.
I think it'll be more fun if you play while doing the show.
I do have Creamy Turtle and Revel behind me, so that could be
Shit. You're fucked.
Creamy Turtle, yeah.
Have we actually started?
I mean, this is
It
live,
is
but the
live.
show's not live. I mean,
Okay.
we're not like State of
We're
the
not
Game
like-
is not ongoing right
Okay,
now.
cool. I'll be right back.
Feel free, man.
I think I bought it till 8 o'clock, actually. I can play them early, but I can also wait till 8. So that victory just secured us an attentive in control on State of the Game.
Oh shit. Well,
That's what I do for
should,
esports.
should we save the great debate till when you have to play, and then you can just put the webcam next to your abacus and just slide one forward when Greg or QXC make a good point? Or do you want to be a part of that?
What's that?
Oh, I can't repeat that, man. You just
He's
No.
very excited about me and QXC debating TVZ balance.
Oh, yeah. I can instigate the crap out of that.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Right.
sick.
Kevin's actually straight up, like, completely serious about stuff, so I'm a little bit worried that Greg won't get angry, but I'm usually good at...
I never
I'll
get
find-
angry. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's true. Forgot about that.
Never ever.
Dude, the chat is hilarious tonight. They're just like, well, Tyler could actually give two fucks about it. He hasn't changed his face at all.
My webcam is working though, right?
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
this
not
is like a
frozen.
common problem when people can't tell if I'm
Yeah,
expressionless or technically
it
impaired.
is working.
Okay.
Wow. IM beat MVP 5-1.
And what, the tack or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did Happy 5 kill or?
No.
Split.
Seed 3 killed. Dream SC finale. Dongregyu beat Seed. Happy 2-rack snipe Dongregyu on Sandshore and Mist, the map that nobody plays. And then Sniper failed on all in against Happy, so Happy wins.
Cool. I saw the end of Sniper vs. Happy. It was terrible.
Yeah.
You guys should tweet that.
I retweeted you already.
God damn it, Greg.
Faster
I'll
than you.
do that. I need to find a way to grab this without it.
Just paste it into the address bar in Chrome and it won't have the Skype thing in front of it.
Really?
Well, it will, but you can just delete it. Look. Look.
Well done. Well, you don't have an internet link with this though. What is it?
Oh, right.
itmeJP.
Twitch what?
/itmeJP.
Are we on the front page of this website yet? Yes, we are.
Fish sticks.
Good. I was about to
There.
fucking switch to owned, man. Christ.
You and Kelly Milkies.
Yeah, and Destiny.
And Destiny.
They have, don't they have some Dota as well? And I know they got Korean teams.
I mean, I don't know because do they
Yeah,
even
they do.
have? I've never been to like own3d.com or whatever. Do they have like
They
a
have-
filter like Twitch
A filter?
I don't know.
where like it has the listing of all the streams and shit?
I
This
don't know.
has to be a mistake.
I know they have Slayers and they have some LoL players and stuff.
Oh,
Is Destiny playing Starcraft 2? He is playing Starcraft 2.
yeah. He'll play DayZ later. Once we get done here.
You know, I watch it every once in a while. It's boring as shit. I like the highlight videos, but to watch someone stream DayZ is actually boring as shit.
Yeah, I mean there are like when stuff happens, it's like really awesome, but then you die and you have to walk around for like an hour to like get things again or find people. So it's hit and miss.
I'm sure it looks fun to play, like with friends and stuff, but watching it was like it takes 8 minutes to set something up too. I watched him set up the Kyle snipe shot, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But then it was kind of anticlimactic because the guys are actually just really nice, and then they just kind of fall over and they're dead, and they're like laughing their asses off.
Yeah, man, I was in that shit. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was hilarious, Jeff. Where did QXC go?
Right here.
They
Oh.
probably have to like move the keg into the house or something like that. Or
QXC, you got the keg?
They like mix
Yeah, man.
that Gamma Bears stuff with beer and
oh my god,
make
Hey,
it-
when am I allowed to
Dude,
come up to the
Gamma
house?
Bear?
man? Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
Bryce snorted that into his brain.
What?
He didn't realize. He did
What
like
is
a
Gamma
or-
Bear?
It's not Gamma Bear. Gamma I don't know.
Labs.
Gamma
It's
Labs.
like a
Gamma Bear.
pre-workout formula kind of thing.
Bryce snorted.
Is Complexity sponsored by that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they're big behind the house.
Oh.
One of the main reasons that happened.
So you guys
Like,
do lines
We're
of
beyond
Gamma
gaming.
Labs
They
and-
are Gamma Bear.
That is how you're supposed to ingest their product. Like Complexity isn't very good at advertising, so we try and put it out there for them
Interesting.
via the nose.
Created a video of Bryce snorting their product to his brain.
Jesus. How did he like that? Did he have
How
fun?
to get it done, man.
Get it done.
You guys want advertising? Watch what Bryce does, and he also like crams a processor up into his fucking nose or something like that. And
Is it recorded on a Sapphire computer or whatever?
probably.
The Sapphire Mini PC, you mean?
I swear, man,
The Edge?
DreamHack Summer or whatever is actually just Bryce shilling that Sapphire PC. That's all I remember from that event.
Yeah, but the part that was sad about that was the whole time I thought the commercial they were showing was the one where Bryce kisses the computer and is like talking about neglected computers, which is
No, it
the
was
funniest
like the real
we've
one,
ever
yeah.
did. Yeah, it was just a serious one. But
All right, I guess we
Swede
should
fans are
start.
so awesome; they cheered every time it showed me. That was cool.
That was pretty funny.
All right, I guess we should start the show.
I'm supposed to ask Tyler about his rant on Grandmaster / Blizzard.
Yeah, what was that the thing?
Oh, that's such. I got robs.
Did you get Artosis?
What happened?
Did?
I don't know what my win percentage was, like 70, 75 or something last season, and I'm number 1 Masters, and I'm matching against top 20 Grandmasters, and I don't get into Grandmasters for the new season.
You're on the
Did you-
outside looking in.
Did you not play
Yeah.
for the day that GM happened?
No, I played on the day when it was filling up, and I didn't get in.
You did get Artosis. That's
You got
fucking
Artosis,
trauma.
Sid, man.
You're like playing against people, and after you beat them, they're like, "Hey, man, thanks for the game. Like, I just got into GM." Fuck this.
Like you beat them and then they say that?
Yeah.
I was like, does it still feel pretty cool? Like, do you get that gold star thing? He's like, yeah, I got the gold star. Oh,
I had a gold star once. It was amazing.
mine's only blue.
Oh, I got a blue star.
All
It
right,
makes me
let's
blue.
What are we eating, Tyler? It should be macaroni.
Pasta.
Pasta's good.
No
That's
sauce.
fine. That's completely
What type
acceptable.
of pasta?
Thanks. Rotini.
Yep, that's great.
I've never had rotini pasta.
Shut up. You've had rotini. You don't know what rotini is. That's the problem.
All right,
Google
hold on.
rotini.
I'm googling rotini. How you
Dude, somebody in
spell
the
it?
chat just said I'm not funny.
It's
Rotini.
Jesus Christ. We have to ban them.
Oh, this is like the pasta I used to play around with as a kid.
What?
Yeah, man.
like 12-year-old pasta.
That's a part of your memory? You have pasta that you played around with as a kid?
Yeah,
Yeah, don't
man.
you remember making like macaroni drawing
No,
paintings?
Greg, I don't. I played
Yeah.
StarCraft, and then
You
I
had
play
those
action.
as a child.
I play action figures with
Make little
Spawn.
scenes, giraffes with macaroni glued to papers.
Absolutely not. Stupid shit.
The shit.
You make macaroni
drew comics.
necklaces, man. You remember that show?
Oh yeah.
See, me and Greg, we get it, Jeff.
Yeah, childhoods.
Yeah.
We're well-rounded people.
You just grew up with Spawn. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, and I had to... have I told the story the first time I got a Spawn action figure?
I think you told it on Real Talk, actually.
Yeah. I put my thumb on the skull on the box so that my mom wouldn't see it. And she's like, "What's your hand covering up?" And I remove it. She's like, "Jeff, is he from hell?" And I was like, "Yeah."
How old were you when this shit?
I think it was 9 or 10.
Nice. Nice. Alright, I'm gonna mute everyone. We're gonna do the show.
I Google image rotini, and the first image is rotini on a table with a quarter there for size comparison.
It's important to know how big your pasta is.
Oh, God.
Give you an idea.
In control against our Artosis debate and keep going back and forth. That'll be easy.
Field stabilized.
Intro.
Yeah, pretty soon.
Return of the heat.
We'll mess up the cute little intro that JP has.
Oh, you've already fucked that up. It's going right now.
See?
Yeah, you fucked it up. But that's part of the show, man.
It is. No one's actually seen the intro.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Seen it? What is it, Jeff?
It's like a wire leading into a bedroom, and oh, you mean the actual intro? You go, "What's up? This is JP. It is," and then you say this the fucking date.
Every single fucking time
Yeah.
since the beta.
So it's like this, Jeff. It is June 28, 2012, and this is State of the Game. I'm JP McDaniel, and today on the show we've got In Control, head of the frat boys, Idra. I guess, would you be the crazy frat guy? Is that how you would classify yourself, Greg?
He would be the responsible one that does the taxes for the group and like monetizes the parties and stuff. You know what I mean?
He's the treasurer for
The
the...
treasurer. Thank you.
Treasurer of the
Doc.
frat.
Okay, the treasurer of the frat guys. We've got Tyler all the way from the West Coast in QXE down here at the new Complexity House. Starting things off with Tyler, let's talk about Liquid Rising. What were your thoughts on it after kind of seeing it as a real product yourself?
I think the main problem is, I'll just address criticism right off the bat, is that like people didn't know what it was going to be. Like documentary is a very wide term, and there's a lot of different kinds of documentaries, and once you've seen it, if you have an open mind, you can look back and say, okay, they were trying to do a certain thing with this documentary, and that's what we did. It could have been some other things. It could have been more of a storyline thing, but this one didn't happen to be.
Mhm.
So, but I think it was pretty badass. I especially love the intro from Lift
Yeah, it
the
was
Pencil
sick.
Boy.
Yeah, the motion
guy is
graphics
badass.
were sick. Did
Yeah.
he choose the music for it though?
I don't know who chose the music.
The music
I'm not
pissed
sure.
me off, man. I'm just gonna be honest.
Oh, it was good.
I mean, if I had to hear that person
I enjoyed
tell
it.
me about what my mom should do or
Yeah.
whatever,
If your mom says walk the dog, you walk the dog.
that I was in my head all day and I was very pissed off.
And if your mom says clean your room,
God damn
Whole
it.
fucking song about that.
Yeah.
Propaganda.
But yeah, that was a pretty good intro. I think Idra and Jeff, you guys have kind of said your thoughts on ITG and things like that. So if you want to say, oh, you never watched it? Oh, well, Greg,
The copies of the visual.
why didn't
Yeah.
you watch Liquid Rising, Greg?
Everyone said it was just like a series of interviews and stuff, and I already know all of them in person, so it's like I didn't see a whole ton of purpose in watching them talk about the things I already know.
Do you know you can get it for free, Greg?
Yes.
Okay, it's not worth it.
I also know that-
time.
I also know that EG donated the $666 to it in order to help it be free, so yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Just to reiterate my thoughts real
Sure.
quick. Criticism-wise, I think a lot of the criticism comes to the fact that there's a very, very high, some might say impossible standard for Team Liquid.
Yeah.
In everything they do, especially a documentary, people want it to be the fucking documentary of the year. If it's anywhere short of that, it's going to disappoint people. That's just the expectation, and to be quite frank, that's not a bad thing. Like, if people had low expectations for things that Team Liquid, the premier public website, put out, then shit, man, we're not in a very good spot. Myself personally, I guess I kind of fell for that. It was a lot like Aliens versus Predator for me, where a lot of the scenes, a lot of the interviews, a lot of the stuff in it, I wanted to enjoy a lot more than I think I deserved to. The TLO interview in particular, where he talked about his startings and the little one can, any little one can become a big one. Like, holy shit, that was fucking awesome. That was beautiful, like absolutely beautiful. I thought NASL's interviews were spot on and awesome. I thought Chef kind of came through as a really goofy but serious guy, like a really awesome just individual. I wanted to know more about him. And that last thought, the wanting to know more, I think that's something that kind of will haunt people from the documentary, because it feels like an introduction. I think that's the biggest criticism about it. It's like you get kind of a feel for everyone, but you don't really go in depth. There's no a lot of documentaries kind of really get deep in there and show what you wouldn't know otherwise.
Yeah.
But as Greg just kind of alluded to, having known these guys, been friends with them for years, and knowing them personally, I actually didn't really learn anything except for what TLO looks like with his shirt off from the documentary.
Yeah.
And that's just too bad. It was a missed opportunity.
Did I think the one thing I took away was how Chef got his name. Did you know that about Chef? That was
I
kind of
did.
an interesting fact.
That's very cool.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. QXC, I know you didn't watch it, but I'm going to put you on the spot and ask why.
I don't know. I don't like watching documentaries,
All right,
Wow.
so
simple.
I just didn't.
There you go. There you go. Well, QXC, how's the complexity house? I know. Are you moved in now?
Yeah, I'm moved in. I'm all set up. It's pretty cool. We're still working on getting some more things, and right now it's actually just me, TriMaster, and our manager Scott. But as soon as we get some more people in, it should be pretty legitimate for practice house. Right now it's just been nice. I don't know. We just play all day and like.
How's the boat?
JP, you silly bastard.
It's really hot in Texas.
Yeah.
I
What he
wasn't
meant to ask is who else is coming to live there, and do you guys plan on modeling the house after like a Korean pro gaming house, or is it going to be more like
A frat house.
EG pro gaming house where you guys are going to do more content? You're going to do more like anti-jet lag stuff? Is it going to be a home base? Like, what's your plans?
And
I'm
how's
not-
the boat?
I'm not.
You missed the boat, JP!
I'm not exactly sure how much of the ladder stuff we're going to do. Hopefully, it's going to be a pretty intense actual practice place. Right now, I think Rise, Minigun, Gozer are moving in sometime soon. We have some other people that may or may not move in, but I'm not sure
Now the
allowed
Koreans
to-
are coming over?
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to tell you about that. I think the Koreans will probably stay in the house when they're in North America, but as long as they're in GSL, they're going to
Yeah.
be staying in Korea.
How's that movie theater?
It's pretty sick.
How big is the actual house? Like, do you know the square footage? That's what's impressed me the most, is how freaking huge that place is.
I don't know the square footage, but right now I actually have my own wing. I have 2 bedrooms.
Jesus
Yep.
Christ.
Two
You're like
two
the
bedrooms
beast.
and a
You
bathroom.
need the beast.
And I just kind of spread my stuff over that whole area. It's very nice. I'm setting up a desk, and I'm going to get a secretary soon, so if anybody needs to talk to me,
There you go.
they can make an appointment.
There you go. There you go. What else was I going to ask about the complexity place? Oh, in terms of content, did you already cover that? Are you guys doing?
So they're not sure how much they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the way, but I'm not sure like to what level you can expect content from us.
Okay. Well, we'll.
Can I recommend something?
Go ahead.
A
Jeff.
series of commercials where you do some advertisement for your sponsor, but you're doing parkour during the entire thing.
Sick.
I don't
And
know
say
if you can.
parkour.
I don't know if you can do parkour in Texas. It's pretty flat, and it also might kill you of sun poisoning or heat stroke or something.
You come out and do it in Arizona, we don't have problems with any of that.
Do it off of like boxes of creative stuff, or like wearing creative stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Like holding sound cards in my hand and like
Yeah.
a headset and like throw the sound card up into the air and like jump over something and then catch it, screaming parkour.
Parkour.
There you go. Also, what prompted the haircut, QXC? What was that about? We're getting real questions here.
It's pretty hot in Texas.
Yeah.
That's about it. Like it just, I don't know if you like eating hair while you're running, but I don't. So
I've never tried it, to be honest.
at some point it had to go. I was outside last weekend for like 2.5 hours and I got sunburned. Well, maybe it was like 3 or 4 hours
You
and
guys
like
can't be
blisters,
practicing
and my arms are peeling. So I haven't really been wearing shirts recently.
Oh, you're taking the TLO route.
Craig,
Yes. Yeah,
think
I'm
outside at their pro gaming house.
They obviously don't practice enough. You don't have time for the outside.
Oh, Christ, you guys are such amateurs.
It's messed up. It's messed up. All right, let's go ahead and just get into it. This is why everyone's here. It's time to have Jeff, first off, is the official scorekeeper of the great debate. Can you
Yeah.
please tell everyone
How
about
will
the
we keep
tool you'll
score?
be using? Yes.
I mean, the basic gist of it is I think it was about 67,000 years ago.
Yeah.
They created a series of shapes and colors that would allow them to delineate numbers. They would decide, okay, if there's 3 over here and 2 over there, then that means that there's 3 here and 2 there. And they can just kind of, go from there. So now in modern times, with technology the way it is, and with the amount of developments that we've been able to make in the most, modern technologies, they've actually shrunk down all of math into, as you can see here, a pocket-sized abacus. So I only need half of it to do all the math necessary, but I do have 2 halves in case we need to get really clever and work on 2 different math equations at the same time.
Yeah. If Tyler
That
jumps in, we can give him
includes
some
those two.
points as well.
Yeah.
All right. So QXC, I guess, is the resident Taran here. Can you channel your inner Avilo, the 40 pages that happened on this fucking thread of ours about how we didn't have a Taran on the show, and talk to me about TVZ and why it's so imba? Or ZVT, rather. Floor is yours, QXC.
So you're just telling me that it's imbalanced and you want me to justify it to you?
Yeah, I'm working for
He
the
said
thread
debate,
right now.
not discussion.
Yeah.
You have to
All right.
defend. You have to
Sure, why
defend.
not?
Your
So-
waffling has earned Greg 3 black points.
Your first point, QXC.
Continue to waffle, and I don't know where this will go.
All right, well, let's start with the early game. Right now, Taran doesn't have anything that's cost-efficient against Queens until you get Stim. You know how long Stim takes? 3 minutes. You can't even start Stim
Hey,
early
Kevin,
on.
let me keep
Huh?
up. For the people at home, 3 is this many.
No, that's very nice.
Yeah.
So the other problem is, this is why nobody opens fast Stim in any matchup, is because if you want to get Stim, you can't get a reactor, which means you don't have a lot of Marines. There's no point in having 8 Marines with Stim. You'd rather just have 16 Marines. So basically, now that we can't deal with Queens at all with Hellions, there's no way to actually pressure the Zerg and force them to make not drones. And that's really the whole game of TVZ. Make Zerg make not drones. And we can't do that early game anymore. Not only that, but we can't even pressure and really keep down the creep spread because of the way Queens can actually just A-move off creep and attack your Hellions, and there's not a whole lot you can do about that.
You can run around them. There's 2 responses to it. First off, Queens are like a purely defensive unit. You're not going to be attacking with them, except for rare situations, because people are going to bitch about the Stefano versus BCQD game. That's obviously a really weird thing. If you make 4 Queens, They are there to spread creep and to make sure that you don't die, which means that Taran can put down 3 command centers, take up the starport, and go 2 E-bays and be absolutely safe. So you can either just sit back and try and out-greed the Zerg, which is what a lot of Terrans are doing, or you can actually just run around, because like you said, Terrans and Zergs both feel like right now you can just make 4 queens and be absolutely safe as anything. But if you run past the 4, if you engage the 4 queens, sure, you're going to die. But if you run past the 4 queens, they're still not that fast. Hellions still kill drones really, really quickly. And if you run past, you kill off some drones, you force some Zerglings, that's way better than sitting out there and doing nothing with the Hellions. Like, that's the thing that really bothers me, is Terrans are still sitting there and making 4 to 6 Hellions, and then they're like complaining about the fact that they just keep being pushed back by the queens. Yes, that's going to happen. So either use the Hellions for something productive, or just don't make them until later on, if you make them at all. But like right now, Terrans are still doing like the half-assed opening that used to be really good, because then it could control creep, but now it can't anymore. They're just not adapting to it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the not adapting thing is a big problem, but the issue with just doing Hellion run-bys is, one, they're really mineral-heavy, so when you're making a whole bunch of Hellions, you can't get your infrastructure going as quickly. You can't get the barracks you need. And if I run past your queens with 6 Hellions, and there's 15 speedlings at the top of your ramp, I just lose all my Hellions, and then if you counterattack me, I lose the game. One of the reasons Terrans have always made Hellions is because of the speedling and the baneling play. If we don't make Hellions, we don't have any information on the map. We can't see if you're taking a third. We can't see how far you're droning, how aggressive you are with your creep spread. We just don't have information, and then we get really vulnerable. There's been a number of iconic games where players go bio, they go straight to medevacs, and then 20 banelings blow up their natural, even though they're walled in with racks, or maybe they're not walled in with racks, and they just lose the game right there. That's one of the big reasons that people were opening Hellions.
But those are 2 different openings. Either you have the speedlings and that can happen, or you have the 4 queens pushing out creep. Like, you can't do both. The speedling opening and the queen opening are separate. And yeah, it can be hard to figure that out. You have to sacrifice SCVs or maybe poke with a handful of Marines around the timing that the queens are supposed to be pushing out, or something like that. But in the same light, if we're opening Ling Bane Ling Queens and you do like a Blue Hellion Marine timing and we don't recognize that as coming, with us it's sending in an Overlord to scout it, with you it's scanning or poking with something and finding out. If we're not prepared for that kind of build, then we just flat out lose too. That's just kind of how the game works. There's lots of aggressive builds that you have to know is coming in order to defend it. But Speedling and Queens are separate openings, so you can't complain about both of them.
I don't...
Like, if you...
Yeah, the
doing
really
the
fast Speedling is actually totally different, because you can scout that gas. But there is a timing, like the kind of 2-base saturated play, where you actually can't scout very easily that they're doing it, unless you want to start blowing scans, but... I don't know. I don't like using scans. I like having money. Like, you can scan and see something's coming and then not have enough money to deal with it anyway, or lose in a different way later on.
It's like 3 orbitals, 3 immediate command centers is like the go-to right now. You can't really just punish that straight off unless you're taking a massive...
3 orbitals.
3 orbitals. That's 3 white beads, Jeff. Those are better than the black beads.
You're right. I apologize. I'm new at the abacus.
The 3 orbitals, you have...
Whoa, slow it down, Drake. Watch what you're saying.
But
Is it just the Hellion openings that really threw it off? Like, because they have more queens now and they can't go Hellions? Is that what's messing it up? Because
I mean,
I'm finding Zergs have discovered Ling Baneling. Like, they used to just make Mutaling or go Banelings as very complimentary to that, but last night we watched Symbol make 53 Banelings over and over and over again.
Right now it's more just like a lot of the times you can get a macro advantage. Like the game I think you're talking about, Marine King just went in with that Blue Hellion Marine attack and he got caught and he lost it. And if Terran loses a bunch of stuff early on, then a lot of the time you can't go in and bust them, and their Marine King happened to be going Thors, so he just got ran over. You have to have tanks to hold that off.
Yeah, I mean...
But a lot of the time it's just situational.
A lot of what you're seeing in some of these games is like, at first the queen change happened and people were like, okay, cool, now I can just like go Ling and Fester and Fast Hive and do that better. And now what's happening is Zergs have realized that the queen change actually gives them a tremendous macro advantage in the early stages when Terrans are trying to do this aggressive play. Like, before, the kind of TVZ meta was you open fast Hellions, you pressure them, not drones, whatever, you have like a tempo advantage the whole game. And now that doesn't work, if you try and do it, Zerg gets a macro advantage, and then you're seeing these huge mid-game armies. Like, Symbol was up economically, so he just makes a ton of units. And part of the reason he was able to get ahead economically is because he's so much safer now with the queens.
Sorry, I blanked out on the first part of that because JP was being a racist.
Standard.
Zerg has is much more able to drone now that they are safer against more different things with the queens. There's the range of builds that they have to worry about is much smaller.
They're safer in general, but I think a big part of that is Terran's, their old timings don't work, and they haven't found the new timings yet, and they're actually just being too cautious. Like I said, if there's 6 queens out there, if there's 4 queens pushing forward, that means that Zerg doesn't have speed. Like, you were just saying, if you run around, you might run into speedings. You actually won't, because if there are queens out there to be ran around, the Zerg can't have speedling at that point. So it's like there is still early game aggressive potential. It's just Terrans haven't figured it out yet. And this happens after every patch. It's like, oh, our old builds are obsolete, but then you find the new timings given time.
Yeah,
And there are little things like if Zerg is going to queen opening, then you can push out with like 5 Marines, and that's before any Zerglings come out, and you can either force the queens back, you can actually kill a queen, sometimes you can force a cancel on a third. There's just a whole bunch of random little weak timings within it. But Zergs feel so safe and comfortable with it because Terrans don't know those timings yet, that Zergs get away with making way more drones than they're supposed to be able to, and Terrans just don't know how to punish it yet because they haven't found those timings, so they're not comfortable with the new builds.
I mean, I agree with a lot of what you're saying about the timings, and the Terrans need some time to adapt, and yeah, it happens with all the patches that are significant balance changes. But this early Marine pressure is almost always not a thing, just because of most maps have really easy spots for overlords. Like on Cloud Kingdom, you put an overlord at their natural, you can always see when they're moving out with Marines. You see me move out with 5 Marines, you build 8 Zerglings, and you catch me somewhere, you build a little bit more Lings than you need, and you kill my Marines. That kind of pressure, if Zerg could not scout it coming, it works. But on a map like Cloud Kingdom, Daybreak, you move out, and by the time you get to their base, they have more units than you do, and you can't really do anything with it.
Yeah, on maps like that, where you do have full scouting information, then it's not as good. But on maps on Antigua, like Antigua and whatnot, where there is no good overlord placement, as long as you're active with the Marines, then it could be better. But again, like going back to the original point, even if you can't do any aggression early game, and I don't think that's true, I think there are builds that just need to be modified, or the Hellions need to be used properly. If you see those queens, there's no way that Zerg's going to attack you until like 7 or 8 minutes into the game. It just doesn't work. We've invested too much resources in pure defense. So that allows Terran to be really, really greedy.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried, and maybe I'm notoriously bad at macroing all throughout my career, but I've been working with like triple CC, like literally as greedy as I can be. I build 1 Marine, and then I build 2 more command centers.
You built a Marine?
Yeah, I built 1 Marine. Okay, not
you don't
quite
build a
as greedy as I could be. I guess that 1 Marine is kind of too much, but
Well, it's not
feels
just about the 3 command centers. It's about then getting up to
1
the
Marine.
infrastructure too. You can go up to the starport. You can get double eBay. You can even put up 5 or 6 barracks.
yeah,
No Marine.
I do that. I go triple CC, and then go into double eBay and make bio and get an army that I can push with. And usually what happens is by the time I'm out on the map, Zerg has over half of the map creeped, because they're just doing that. That's just how Zerg is being played right now, and it's really...
That happens now. I think the effect of creep, I don't want to say it's overrated, because creep is obviously incredibly powerful. It's like really, really good. If you engage against a Zerg on creep, then the fight goes much worse for you than if not. But creep just kind of, that's what happens now. That's what, if you dedicate that many resources to queens, that's dedicating resources to having creep spread. And the creep spread's going to be there. And Terrans who try and invest too many resources early on into pushing the creep spread back when the queens are just going to replace the tumors, that's just a waste. It's like, that's what Zerg is focusing all of their attention on doing. So it's going to happen. And if you look at other Terrans who just sit back and accept that and build up their economy, build up their infrastructure, get the army, and then push out and kill a little creep here while they're dropping around, and then they go into a normal macro game from there without freaking out and without investing too many resources into stopping it, they fare much better versus it. Like, it seems really, really bad to have the entire center of the map covered in creep, but if you're investing your own resources in your own advantages, then you have other things that compensate for that.
Seems reasonable. Seems reasonable. The only thing I have to say to that is, when I've tried it so far, it feels like once they get that much creep out, you actually can't win the game, because you can't make good decisions about where you want to move your army, when they can literally, you either deny the creep very slowly, bit by bit, or if you want to try and push onto it, but then if Zerg has vision of your army, it's so hard to actually get a good engagement or to make good decisions about where you want to put
I don't think you should push onto it. I think the game is really poorly designed right now. I think it makes for really boring games. I think the best way for Taran to play is to just sit, unless the Zerg is going the pure ground style, and then I think you can go mass bio, medevacs, and keep expanding behind it and push out and just lift off and run away. I think that's the only situation where you should be pushing out. If Taran's still going mutiling Baneling, or if they have enough infestors to shoot down medevacs or whatnot, I think you should just kind of sit and wait for the super army and make sure you have enough starports to cover a Broodlord switch and start dropping around and play really, really abusive and turtly and passive. But pushing onto creep, you're right, is really, really hard and usually shouldn't be done.
Yeah. The one thing... Okay, let's talk about late game then. The one thing that really bothers me about the Broodlord Ultra thing is if you don't make Broodlords, I don't want Vikings. And if you don't make Ultralists, I don't really need Marauders. But it's so hard for me to figure out when you're making one of those units, or even if I know you're making one of them. Like, you can scan and literally see a Greater Spire and an Ultralist Cavern right next to each other. And all of a sudden you have to figure out, is he going Ultralist? Do I need to make a bunch of Marauders? Is he going heavy on Broodlords? Is he going both? And I need to add... You can get in these situations where Zerg is going heavy Ultralists. You started making some Vikings just to be safe, and because he can make 8 Ultralists at a time or 5 Ultralists at a time, you just end up with this extra resources, this extra supply that you can't do anything with it. It's just useless, and that's one of the hardest parts about playing the late game.
Taran needs to put themselves in a situation where they can deal with the tech, where they can also tech switch themselves. Obviously, you're never going to be able to match the ability of Zerg to tech switch just because of the way larva work, but you can put yourself in a situation where you can make 4 or 5 starports worth of Vikings at once. So the proper way to play, because Ultralists are like the fast counter, that's what you do versus really heavy aggression because they get out quicker and they're more efficient until you get up till 200 supply. So the best way that I have seen Terrans playing mid and late game is to play pure bio with really heavy upgrades. This is assuming that Zerg didn't open Muta. If Zerg opened Muta, then you can play just the way you always have with Marine Tank Thor in normal macro game. But if Zerg's going the ground style into really fast hive, you need to play really aggressive with bio and actually mass expanding behind it. That's the thing that most Terrans don't do. If you're playing really aggressive with bio, you're keeping Zerg on the back foot, and you've been greedy enough early game that you can match them in terms of economy, and you can get away with being greedy enough, as we discussed, because of the queen openings. Then you have big economy for yourself, and Zerg is almost forced to go ultless, and Zerg doesn't really have entire control of the map like they do if you sit back and play passive. And this allows you to keep focusing on Marauders, and if they end up then going Broodlords, then you have a big economy. You can go 4 starport, 5 starport Viking behind it. And another thing that's really underutilized is actually PDD, because most Zergs have been going very Corruptor heavy now, because it's more, it's easier to do than going Broodlord Infestor. The Corruptors just always clean up the Vikings. They have very good survivability, whereas often you run out of Infestor mana. And against Corruptors, PDD, obviously Vikings plus PDD, it beats Corruptor.
JP, 1 point to Greg, please, for being the first to reference Ravens.
Okay. Got it.
I said PDD, not Hunter-Seeker Missile. Hunter-Seeker Missile isn't actually that good.
Yeah, well, they both come from the Raven, so...
PDD is actually surprisingly useful against Corruptors. The problem is, as a spellcaster, the Raven is bad. Very bad. And a couple reasons for that. One is, we can't even do anything with our Raven the moment it comes out, and we also need a pretty expensive structure, like 150, 100 to make a starport, to actually get a couple of Ravens out. It's a pretty significant investment for something that's not actually useful the moment that they actually come out. Like, you can have Ravens on the field, but you can't actually do anything with them.
They detect.
Yep. That's not useful. Zergs don't need to cloak things right now to win.
Creep.
Yeah, you can use them for creep. The problem, a lot of what happens if you try and use Ravens to kill creep is if they get fungled once, they just die.
Yeah, I don't think you should make them mid-game. They're like... Wait, excuse me. I think the proper way to deal with the Air Death Ball, the Broodlord Infestor Corruptor Death Ball, is to drop around, because obviously it's super immobile. Everyone knows if you drop around for Broodlords, Zerg either has to go all in, or just they spend their entire time trying to run around a really slow army trying to deal with it. So the proper way is to try and put the Zerg into a situation where they're going to have to all in with the super army. And usually that's okay because the super army it works. It's really, really powerful. However, if you have a bunch of starports producing Vikings and then you get a couple of PDDs out, you can actually beat that army. Like that's the way I think Ravens are supposed to be used. You shouldn't be really making them mid-game. They're too
Like
gas
a
heavy.
mothership.
Yeah.
They're the Terran mothership.
Yep.
Except we
Let's
can
let's go this route too, because there's a lot of Terrans complaining about TVZ right now, but in Korea, Terrans are doing okay in the GSL, the GSDL. Is there any explanation for that? Is there any excuse to be given? Is there any reason why it's happening there but not elsewhere?
I mean, probably two things. One is Terrans are kind of doing okay, but if you look at some of the qualifiers recently, like the Korea qualifier, TSL qualifier, like Terrans aren't doing that good.
A Terran won the last one, or the one before the one that
Yeah,
ran
but
today.
round of 8 was like one Terran.
Oh.
Like it's one guy who did well. But I would say that probably the main reason that the Koreans are doing better is they're adapting quicker. And like, because before Terrans can react and come up with new timings, we have to see the new timings from Zerg. We can't look at the patch and be like, oh yeah, I know exactly how this will play out. Like, I need a good Zerg who's really abusing the patch and pushing as hard as they can so that then I can figure out what do I need to fix, what do I need to change. And when you're in a practice house, the first day of the patch, Zergs are doing whatever, and the Terrans are playing against them, and you're playing 10 or 20 games against the same person, and you're going through this very, very quickly. And like Greg was saying earlier, a lot of what we're seeing is just Terrans have not adapted to the change, and when you're going through this very rapid prototyping, back and forth, day after day, like, you're going to figure out how to deal with the queen change and all the other things that kind of cascade out of it much quicker than someone who's just playing ladder, not playing the same practice partners all the time, playing people who are bad.
Yeah, if you actually watch the replay pack from the IPL 5 Korean qualifier that came out yesterday or today or something, pretty much all of the Zergs are now cheesing and all-inning, ling-bane, ling-busting every ZVT because they've actually progressed beyond the point we've been talking about, where all the Terrans have started to play super, super greedy to deal with the Queen build, and so now the Zergs have started playing just all-in builds to punish them for that. So, yeah, a lot of it is just they develop them. Their metagame develops a lot faster because they have a lot more people working at it intelligently, trying to figure out solutions to stuff.
Okay.
What do you think about battle cruisers?
BCQ mixes them in. His endgame TVZ is he aims for a super air army, Mass Viking, Ravens with a few BCs, and then just a little bio support under it. And I'm not really sure about it. It might be okay.
Yeah.
I think it's better to play pure bio Raven or pure bio Viking with a little Raven support.
JP, I think the chat's calling for 1 point to QXC. I'm not sure why, but we're going to award it to him.
Okay. All right, so it's 1-2, 1-2.
Yep.
All right, continue on.
BCs are the Terran super army, at least in TVZ. And the reason for that is BCs alone are not cost efficient against Corruptors. They do okay, but they're not doing great, and the Corruptors benefit a lot more from the plus attack because they get +2 instead of BCs, which just get +1/+1. But when you couple battle cruisers with Yamato cannon and point defense drone, and maybe Hunter Seeker, but Hunter Seeker is pretty impossible to use, so let's not worry about that. Just battle cruisers with Yamato make them basically trade even with Corruptors. And when you add in point defense drone, you're actually looking at an army that is incredibly cost efficient. Like, supply-wise, I don't think anything the Zerg makes can actually be cost efficient against that army. Obviously, infestors can be a problem, but mixing in some ghosts.
That's another thing I forgot to mention is ghost usage. Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, if I played Zerg, I could kind of visualize how this army would be. Like, I would go pure bio and metavax, I would be expanding heavily, and then when I got my fusion core tech, I would build 10 battle cruisers at the same time and 5 ravens. But as a Terran player using Terran production mechanics, I just can't... There doesn't seem to actually be a way to get to that army. To get to this 10 or 20 battle cruisers with 10 ghosts and 5 ravens and maybe like 10 or 15 Vikings and then a bio kind of support for it. Because I actually think that would do it. If you could get that army, I don't think there are very many Zergs who would be able to deal with it. But getting to it is just... I have no idea. I don't think it's possible in the current meta at least.
I never played anyone who actually used VCs that much, but the ghost thing. So I mean, it could be as powerful as you say. I have no experience versus it, and yeah, getting to it is difficult. But the mass bio styles, the only problem is if the if the Zerg then goes Mutas, because Mutaling Baneling is very good versus the pure bio style. But if you go pure bio and control really well against the ground-based armies, against Ling Baneling Infestor or Ling Roach Infestor, it is possible to get into that situation. The biggest thing is most Terrans just don't mass expand behind it, but if you watch like Illusion play, he does that a lot. He just puts up command centers as fast as I can put up hatcheries, and he ends up with a really good economy in production. And his bio is so mobile, and as long as you spread it out well and you don't take bad fungals or bad Baneling hits, you can actually hold off most aggression. Like he gets his 2-2 upgrades in time to hold off the big Roachling Baneling timing and whatnot. So I think that kind of opening into a late game. And I don't know about the mass BC thing. I just haven't experienced it. But the other thing you said, mixing in the ghosts, people really underrate ghosts because the snipe nerf, they're no longer really useful for snipe. However, EMP on the infestors alone is worth it. And then nuke harass, which very few people actually use as well as it can be. A nuke is really, really cheap. And it's very, very difficult on most maps to actually have a detection grid big enough for everything to be safe. And if you just, like, hell, some maps you can even nuke places from wholly safe spots. Like from inside your main, you can nuke the 12 and 6 expansions on Daybreak. So I think ghosts are very, very underused in the late game the matchup.
You just talked about ghosts. And, what was the first thing you said?
That's what I want to say too. Is like
I was just... Sorry, go ahead.
I want to interject as a guy speaking on behalf of the non-Terran or Zerg worlds. Why have ghosts taken such a far backseat outside of the fact that they don't do shit to Guardian or Broodlords rather and Ultras anymore, but EMP against Infestors and then non-Infestor supported Broodlords, I've seen those get exploited a lot, but is it just it's too much to ask for the ghost to only be there for EMP and little snipe?
I mean, the issue with the ghost right now is it's a spellcaster that costs minerals. Like, that right alone is probably the main reason people don't use them more. The Terran army is primarily mineral-based. We're not like Zerg or Protoss, where the more gas we get, the better off we are. Maybe if there was a shift in the meta to some kind of BC Raven style, that would be true, but right now it's not. Terran army is so mineral-dependent that when you make ghosts, your main army gets smaller, and it gets smaller by a significant amount. It's not like when Zerg ends up with 1k gas or 2k gas, and they make a bunch of infestors, and that's way better than if they were to just spend those minerals on lings. Like, that's a great thing for them. For Terran, if I've got 1k gas, I'm just going to let it keep piling up, because I don't want to make ghosts. They make it so that I can't expand as quickly, I can't make as much bio, I can't add my barracks as quickly.
So, ironically, it would have been better that the ghosts were 100 minerals and 200 gas.
Probably.
But you don't need a lot of them. You don't need like the snipe numbers you had before. You just need a couple to land EMPs or a couple to send all over and nuke. Like,
yeah,
you don't need a lot of them.
The nuke thing, like
The nuke thing is really,
two
really...
or three ghosts would be sufficient there. As far as EMP goes, the big problem with EMP is more of a range thing. It's like if they're going ground army, they're going like ultra lang, you can usually get EMPs off without too much trouble. When they're going broodlords, it's so hard to get in range to actually EMP anything important. Usually what the Zerg will do is once they see you're making ghosts, they'll make 4 or 5 overseers, so you're not going to be able to cloak, and then they'll keep most of their infestors a little bit behind the broodlords and just send 1 or 2 up to fungal as they need to. And getting past that broodlord line, actually getting in range to get those EMPs off, a lot of the times it just doesn't really work. If the Zerg gets a little careless or you can maneuver them into a bad position, like, yeah, you can get those EMPs off, but usually if you can get the Zerg into a bad position where you could EMP their infestors, you could also just stim and kill them because you have a concave or you have a pincer or something like that.
Okay. That's true. It's not easy to use, but I think the nukes are the bigger point because, as I said, against the Broodlord Corruptor Infestor army, your goal should be to put Zerg all in on that really slow-moving super army, and nukes are a great way to do that in conjunction with drop harass, just running around. And then it's just like you have to assemble all of these different resources to try and find a way to kill that super army. The same way Protoss is just kind of like backed into a corner until they get off that one big vortex and everything falls apart. If you get off a couple of EMPs on the Infestor if you get down a PDD and force them to fight around it, etc. It's just a matter of finding a way to beat that army after you put them all in. So, yeah. I'm not sure what else to discuss.
I mean, I'm just listening to this and becoming very aware of the fact that this would be way more entertaining with an irrational Avilo yelling at Idra and Greg, like, trying to stay calm.
Yeah.
I think we missed out on opportunity.
Yeah, we might have, guys. But don't tell
Kevin,
them that, because
you're
then
too damn polite and, like, rational and shit. You need to... Can you
Sorry.
just, like, call Greg an asshat or something like that?
he's not
No.
even going to do it jokingly. man.
No.
Wow.
Well. All right, Jeff is the supreme moderator. Who won?
Well, I have experience in parliamentary debate style, so I'm going to have to judge it based on that. First thing we do in parliamentary debate is we take a look and evaluate the clothing of both players. Now, while Greg does seem to be professional with that jersey on, I have to give credit to Kevin for taking what would be a normal shirt, removing the sleeves, and then still wearing it past the early 90s. So actually, I'm going to give those points to Kevin. He gets about 5 white ones.
Oh, shit.
Greg, on the other hand, now the next stage here, too, is going to be visual performance of the debate as well. Kevin was using his hands emphatically, drinking from a sponsored water bottle, and wearing a sponsored headset. Greg does have the 7H on, but his hands remain still, and I saw no consumption of any monster whatsoever. So that's 4 black beads for Kevin as well, bringing him up to 4 blacks and 5 whites, which, as we know, makes a basketball team. That didn't make sense.
Damn it.
On the other side, I think Greg remained calm, did not resort to name calling, and actually did not reference any statistics whatsoever. So that means that he gets 5 white points for him. And then at the end of the day, they're both so fucking nice and kind and informative, and this is exactly what people should have wanted, that everyone wins. Everyone won.
Oh, that's a cop-out answer, Jeff.
Well, I want a Velo on here, and I want to see him yell at you while slurring through his slobbery mouth. I'd love to hear that.
That sounds pretty entertaining, actually.
I think Kevin could moderate a Velo. Like, he could back up the irrational things he says with the actual, like, closer to the truth things. So I'd be like, fucking Hellions don't work and Zerg can't bounce. And I'll be like, yeah, Hellions are difficult to use, and Zerg is really difficult right now. And then we'll have to see, like, we'll actually time out Greg's boiling point. Like, I'm sure Greg will go into it in, like, a solid minute and a half, talk rationally, and then eventually just start talking about how bad a Velo is. That would be good.
I was about to say I don't have a boiling point, but if you consider that boiling, then yeah, that's going to happen like immediately.
We could probably make it into a drinking game, too.
Oh, yeah.
This entire thing has
right.
inspired me to make a new show where I just invite
You
two
should get a
people
bill on talk.
and have them debate either a racial matchup or something like that for 30 minutes.
Dude, just buy the rights from Artosis for the show Imbalance. It costs you like $15 or something like that, and then just have Avila be your co-host, and you guys just talk about how Taran's completely imbalanced or like broken.
There you go. It's happening.
He'd do that too. He would actually do that. As much as we're teasing right now, he would actually do that.
Yeah, it's happening. The chat's already at it. Looks like.
If Avila presents himself, I really strongly push that we do call him.
All right. Well.
This will be as bad of an idea as when I interviewed Mia Rose on the show, but still.
Oh, that was awful.
Oh, that was.
God.
It was awful.
I don't even remember that, and I know it was pretty awful, man.
It was the only part of that show that I didn't like. Otherwise, that was like the best show we've ever done, I think.
Yeah. Well, if Avila contacts anyone on the show, let me know, and I'll bring him on. But we're gonna move on with the show. I'm sure he'll contact us in about 30 seconds. Talking about TL qualifiers. Not really so much to say in terms of the players qualified. That Daisy, Sase, Mana, Wellmood, Creator, Sting, Nurchio, Curious, and Rhett. The big thing that I've been noticing, first off, is it's awesome being able to watch this, but they're using a color mod, which is a third-party mod. It's not edited map files from my understanding. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, people on the show or the chat. But what do you guys think about other tournaments using this? Should the community kind of take it upon themselves to make the viewership, the spectatorship of StarCraft 2 better? Have you guys even seen what I'm referring to, first off?
I've seen it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I actually don't.
It's been around for a while,
Oh, yeah.
hasn't it?
I saw that.
It's
I
been
thought
around
it
for a
just made
while,
it look.
but
I thought it just made it look weird. Like, what's the
I don't
actual? Why is it better?
well, it's better like in a ZVZ.
Oh.
If it's like Roach versus Roach, you can't fucking tell what's going on.
Red versus blue, you can. Like, normal red versus normal blue looks better and more readable than the color mod to me, at least.
I think if people want to watch color mod, then we should give them color mod. If people don't want color mod, like, don't give them color mod. I don't.
Well, we can't. We can't like double our streams at MLG, man. Like.
No, like you run it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah. You just take feedback. Like, if people, what I didn't mean like you have 2 streams. I meant like
gotcha.
you just get feedback from the community, and if they like color mod, you have color mod. If they don't, you don't.
You guys broadcast the prelims, I think, so maybe tests out there or something like that would be worthwhile.
Yeah. Well, we're already recording. We already recorded the EU qualifiers, but maybe we'll use it in some of the other ones. It's just a. Do you guys have you installed it before?
I've seen it. It's been on leagues and stuff, like some of the broadcasters.
I know that like ESV uses it. I think ESV might have created it or started that kind of movement a while ago, but TL's been using it lately. What's that? Did you get a velo?
My webcam's going into Metal Gear Solid mode.
Oh, well, I mean it's bound to happen, man.
It always happens to me and not Greg, though. I feel like
No, it's happened to me once or twice.
It happened to Greg last week.
Oh,
and it happens to versus perfect.
Oh, you're right. Okay, come back. Never mind. I don't know. I was hoping we're gonna talk about the management group, right?
Yeah, that's next. The
color thing like literally came out 6 months ago, maybe a year.
Okay.
It's been around.
All right. Well, I just wanted to gauge interest on if we should use it or not, because we are kind of talking about it at MLG. So
I don't think anyone would fight you on it, you know? Like.
Yeah, that's true.
Are there any serious opposers?
Yeah. A velo, if you don't like the color mod, feel free to call in. So, Jeff, you mentioned the Esports Management Group. Their website, esportsmg.com, just went live a couple days ago, announced that they are now representing Tasteless, Clutch, and Hotshot GG from the League of Legends universe. I mean, first off, what do you guys think about this? Jeff and Greg, of course, you guys have voiced your opinions on some of these other shows, but just kind of rehash it here, and then I, of course, want to get Tyler and QXC's thoughts.
Tyler, spearhead this.
Tyler, you feel like talking?
Sure.
What do you think about the Esports Management Group?
I think it makes sense. I mean, it's a role that is necessary, and it's been filled in other ways, and now there's just dedicated people filling the role, I guess I'd say. A lot of people manage themselves. A lot of people have, companies they work for, teams they work for, do their management when that's not necessarily their primary role, but just a role that they've had to take on. So, I don't know, it seems to make sense to me that if the industry has room for it to pay these people to do this work, well then, yeah, like, specialize your skills. Have like managers do shit, and then other people do other things.
I thought we crashed the website for a second. QXC, what do you think about it?
Seems good. Kind of like Noni said. If they can get paid to do it, like, sure, they should do it. Obviously, they'll have to like show that they're reputable, and people will want to make sure that they can trust them with. I mean, management often has like kind of private things involved with it, but if they can make it work, like, I think that would be a pretty good asset for a lot of people.
I guess they had clients prior to the 3 that I mentioned, because also Gandhi, Golden Boy, Counterlogic Gaming, both NA and EU are on there, as well as DMAC. 3 of those, of course, being MLG people, and the other 2 being League of Legends guys, but that's interesting.
Wait, is DMAC that, like, the guy on Twitter calls himself the original gangster of Halo?
He might be.
That sounds like a valuable pickup.
I'm not actually sure if that's his tagline.
I'm looking around my desk for, like, a prop to express how funny that is, but one particular story I have to give a little bit. I'll go story mode on this. Is that okay?
Yeah.
At the end of Nationals, no, it wasn't Nationals. It was Orlando. Orlando. There's always a big party in some hotel lobby or something like that at the end of MLG, and this is me, of course, speaking to the audience that hasn't maybe attended MLG or that party. and I came upon a gathering of what I could only presume to be Halo players based on the sheer weight of the swag, the level of communication that was going on there, or lack thereof. A lot of sleeves were missing. There were some rolled up pant legs. Boxers were exposed. The whole thing was very traumatic. But they were actually engaged in what I can only describe as a rap battle, which is where you do battle through written song and wordplay.
I remember this.
And I believe it was Sir D-Mac who was in the middle of this as one of the sole African representatives, which of course would have to lead the way in showing the white Xbox players what they actually have to do a rap battle. And it's one of the first times I ever attended and watched a rap battle, and I believe D-Mac was...
Did he win?
Well, everyone wins in that.
That's true.
Actually, battle is only like it's them taking back the word, to be honest with you. It's more of a celebration.
Yeah.
That's the only way I could express what happened there.
I think that the show that's really covered this the best, simply because they had Clutch and Tobias. Why can't I remember your handle? Tumba.
Tumba.
Yeah.
Come on,
Jesus.
man.
I know his real name for some reason. I couldn't think of his handles. So they had the Good Show had both of them call in, and I think they definitely covered it the best. So I would say go watch that if you're looking for kind of the Esports Management Group side of things. But I also I think Too Good made a great point of saying that I don't know what, and maybe they answered this on the show, but I don't know what Tasteless can get from these tournaments that he's not already getting.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
That's actually, for people that don't know, if anyone was going to, like, if there's anyone that's a ruthless negotiator, like, he will actually, if you're not careful, you will sign away your family and, like, future income.
Yeah.
It is actually Nick Plott,
Yeah.
Tasteless. He's a cold customer, man.
Yeah, he's really good at negotiating. I guess I don't know. I guess we'll have to see if they're even going to touch that relationship. I don't really know. It's kind of interesting. We'll have to see really where that leads to. I know Tumba's talking to me on Skype right now, so he's typing. He'll probably tell me here in a couple seconds.
I think what's interesting about it too is like I've spoken with a few people that was going to potentially sign with him. God,
Post
prepare for
piss.
that. Oh, that was actually short. That was good. And this person did not end up actually signing with them just yet, at least. But one of the things they talked about was this is not the kind of deal where the Esports Management Group gives this person money to have their name attached to them. It's the opposite. Like, they bring them work, and then they take off a piece to that, much like a traditional agency would work. Agents don't actually pay you money to represent you. You pay them money effectively, but they bring in more business is the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that's interesting, again, especially with Huck, or not Huck, excuse me, but Tasteless. I said Huck because it's in Greg's webcam. But what more, like, of the things I've heard from Nick is he actually wants to stay more in Korea. He wants to do, like, less traveling, less work because it takes such a toll on him, and because a part of their value is that they're really expensive and hard to afford, so not a lot of tournaments do afford them, which is not the typical way. I'd be very interested to hear Tombo say what they get from that and what that relationship is, because it's weird to the rest of us.
So Tombo messaged me saying that Nick really can't get anything out of the tournaments right now, but they are looking for mainstream endorsements for him. So, I mean, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, they're not only agents, from what I understand. They're also management, which is like pushing them beyond. They're not just negotiating for them with other esports things and all that.
Yeah.
It's more. It's all about
a lot
getting.
of drinks that Nick could endorse. That'd be good.
Hmm?
There's a lot of, like, he could be a Jack Daniels guy. He could be
He'd get one of the good.
HRD.
He'd get a Korean spirit, man. Let's be honest here. I could see him.
They start putting him on soju bottles instead of the K-pop girls.
Yeah, it would work.
He can replace Shiori.
It would work. So I guess everyone's really just going to be waiting to see what comes out of the Esports Management Group and what kind of deals are coming from there. The people behind it, of course, Tumba kind of representing the StarCraft scene, but the other three guys come from the poker and golf world. If you're unaware of them, definitely go check out the About section. They are very, very good at their jobs, coming from those two worlds, so we'll see how that kind of translates into the StarCraft world. So, moving right along, we had GSL Code S last night, kind of the quote-unquote group of death in the round of 16, MC Symbol, Squirtle, and Marine King. And Greg, who didn't make it out of that group?
Oh, Marine King, of course. Why do you even have to ask? That should be
Well,
obvious.
I asked you. I let you do the honors, man, because I know you're so excited to see that. MC, of course, it was
That guy,
ironic.
he went 0-2. He didn't even make it to the final match.
Yeah, he went 1-4
Intriguing.
that weekend. Who did he lose to besides Symbol?
Symbol and
MC 2-0.
Not even Squirtle. Wow.
Um,
That's kind of bad for him, isn't it?
Yeah, you got a long ways to go, Greg, before you're right there. Just so you know, you got a long ways to go.
There, give it time.
Jeff, I know you watched all the games. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on Group B?
I thought it was really. I mean, it definitely lived up to the splendor. Like MC avoiding Symbol was kind of a big deal. Getting a PVT, and then Marine King played kind of weird. He did a really bad all-in, and they died to an all-in really easily. So that series was kind of underwhelming. I was a little bit sad about that. And then the PvP with Squirtle is one of the best PvPs I've seen. It was a really exciting best of three. I thought all three games were pretty cool in their own way, in different ways. We get to see the very new one Colossus 4-gate Robo one base all-in that's kind of coming out that really changes the metagame. And MC fell short with that one, but that was the cool. Oh, spoiler, I guess. But, oh well.
Who fucking cares? Man?
Wait, did you say
Yeah.
that build is new? Because isn't that build like the oldest build?
Not this way. One Colossus, no range, with like 2 or 3 Immortals, pure Zealot almost. That's pretty new.
I don't know. I
mean, you're like fucking hipster as shit, so you're probably doing that before everybody else. But
I mean,
if it's not new, it's circled around back. It was
yeah,
not
yeah.
done.
Yeah, it's like it's a new thing to happen now. But I think like when PvP first started, it was all 4 gates and it was Colossus builds, and I would say yeah, mixing an Immortal, not getting range, only getting 1 Colossus was not the common way to do it. But I think generally it just reminds me very much of going all the way back 2 years to win Colossus build every single time if it wasn't a 4 gate.
I would agree with that. The way the build's executed is very different, though. It's like it's 1-gate Robo, and you literally start the Colossus before you add any 2nd, 3rd, or 4th gateway in most cases. So it's like the fastest 1 Colossus you've ever seen, and then you go pure Zealot behind it, because the only thing that really fucks that build up is fast expand mass Immortal. But if you have a lot of Zealots, there's a really good chance you can sandwich them in with force fields and then come out way ahead there. It's really cool. It's still being developed. It's the way it's being done is very different. If it faces a blink build, a lot of times they'll just turn it into an expansion build, which is pretty cool because it's a flexible build that way. But last night's game was cool. Symbol is doing something that I haven't seen any other Zerg do just yet, and every time I say that, the chat always blows up with like the one fucking other player that's done it one time before. So, well, but Symbol was actually just getting drop with his Roach and Ling, not even Banelings necessarily, and then dropping them on the Immortal build, which I thought was really, really cool, because I haven't seen that, and it's really super strong. So if the Protoss tries to just take a third off that composition, which is what they do when they're not doing the 2-base all-in, they just start spreading them out and dropping the main and circumventing the force fields. But if they do the 2-base all-in, they just drop it directly on top of the ball.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it actually works for Seal, because the one where he did that to him on Entombed, pardon me, not Entombed, maybe it wasn't, yeah, it was Entombed, where he did it, Squirtle actually put down a 3rd Nexus and faked it, so his push came a bit later. I'm not sure if the drop upgrades actually come in time for just the regular Mortal all-in. So.
It's really raised to the edge, like it's...
Yeah, because they're...
the fast version, it's not in time, so they have to hold it off, minus the deficit of upgrade speed and drop.
Yeah. But no, the drop style is really, really good. All of the TSL Zergs seem to be using it versus Protoss. Even if they have Protoss just as a regular 3-base build because it looks like a Roach all-in, so you kind of have to make 4 or 5 Immortals, but then you can drop on top of an Immortal Stalker Sentry army. Roach Sling, especially when it's very Ling heavy, still kind of destroys that. So, yeah, it looks like a really, really good style. A lot of the TSL circs have been using it.
It's also a dramatic night, too. Like, Marine King's always good for some severe, sad faces when he loses.
Oh,
and
did he have some really good ones?
He deserved to be sad.
Yeah, he's a very emotional guy. Meanwhile, Symbol, you could see the stress on him because he's kind of a hot guy right now. Like, he's supposed to be... I expected him to tear this group up. Like, everyone was going to want to dodge him, but Squirtle made mincemeat of him in that first best of 3. Mm-hmm. Like, it was a 2-0, and Squirtle looks calm, cool, and collected and just absolutely smashed him. Everything he did was the right choice. And then it was, like, really weird because it was looking like Squirtle was going to be the roadblock for Symbol, like the one guy that was going to beat him that whole time. But then in the last series where they played, Symbol looked like he couldn't lose to Squirtle if he tried. So it was just an intense night, and Kaldor and Wolf were reunited, and they did a good job.
They did a good job, I think. Yeah.
I put my foot in my mouth again because I forget that Kaldor actually fucking checks every single Twitter while he's streaming.
Yeah.
And I tweeted because it was really funny because they're not Protoss players. Wolf plays, I want to say Zerg or something like that.
I thought Wolf is Protoss.
I think Wolf
Maybe it is Protoss.
Yeah,
that
Protoss.
sucks. There's that putting that enough. Kaldor is a Zerg player, but
yeah.
During one of the PvPs, like they were just going apeshit insane about like.
That was the MC Squirtle game 2.
MC Squirtle. It was just funny because if you're a Protoss player and you're watching this, like you've seen it a million times before. It was a cool, exciting game. Don't get me wrong, but like over the sound of Wolf proclaiming that Squirtle is instantly going to the round of 8, like this is completely over.
Yeah.
And then Kaldor is orgasming on the screen about like an immortal walking away from his zealot. It made for a funny moment there where I was like, my blood was telling me I'm supposed to be getting really excited, but I'm looking at a wall.
Yeah,
it was funny.
That was a pretty good cast. I know QXE, you watched Marine King Symbol. Did you have any thoughts on that game or series rather?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of an example like what we were talking about earlier, where Terrans have kind of shifted into this. I'm just going to play super greedy, and then I'm going to push out, and I'm going to keep up with Zerg. And everything went according to that plan, except for the keeping up with Zerg. Marine King played super greedy, fast 3 command centers, at least in one of the games, and then he pushed out and he got rolled. And
well, I saw the Entombed one, only the Entombed one, but on Entombed he did a Marine Hellion timing, and he traded armies for it, which is not optimal for Terran, but he killed a lot of units, so it was kind of okay. And then he just made pure Thor Hellion Marine, while Symbol was maxing on Mutiling Baneling off of 65 drones and waiting for 2-2 upgrades. And then Marine King actually moves out for a set. Like, he moved out while his opponent was all-inning. Like, Marine King just does not know how to play the game and does random shit. And this time it didn't work out. You can't make any judgments off that.
But
I felt like in the other game, what I was
didn't see
talking
the other
about
ones,
happened.
maybe.
But I
before
don't
we
actually-
hey, save this for the debate. We're going to bring on a velo, Kevin. Remember what you got to do. You have to make these points behind Avilos so that we have something to work with. But I just want to say, Wolf and Kaldor did a great job. But I don't want to leave off on me laughing at like a mistake they made in the PvP because, god damn it, I miscall things during a cast every single time. It's part of the joke. But they did a great job, an awesome job.
Yeah.
Bring on the Avilo.
All right, let me.
Are we really doing this?
Yes,
really
Greg.
doing this.
Obviously,
God damn it. He's such a little moron.
save it, Greg.
Don't give him attention. This is like the call-ins on inside the game.
I know.
The
this
worst
is Mia
possible
Rose
idea.
all over again. Fucking Mia Rose all over again. It's fine.
Welcome to the show, Avila. How's it going?
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Do you have a webcam?
Yes. I don't have it on right now, but...
You should turn it on
Yeah.
while I figure this out. All right, Jeff, you're in charge here.
I appreciate you guys getting me on.
You know, we had heard that you wanted to be on. There's I do have a request that you have to wear your hat, if that's okay.
Where which has,
The big, it looks
hat.
like you killed a wolf one.
There's only one hat. The Avillo hat.
I actually don't have that one on me right now.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so we were debating TVZ as you're going to turn on your webcam here, and
Hey, Greg.
Kevin
you wanna
was
knock over
kind of
Hawk?
at a loss. I don't know if you're listening. He was bringing up some points, but we knew that we needed to talk to you if we were going to learn about the imbalance of TVZ. So, I mean, what's wrong with TVZ right now?
Can you see me, guys?
No.
No.
Alright, well, forget that. Alright, well, first off, like, Jeff, why do you always paint such a negative picture of me on this show? Like, what do you have against me? Like, you take these pot
Are
shots
we
at me,
really
like,
doing this?
Avila, this is your one chance, man. This is like Eminem 8 Mile, buddy. You gotta fucking hit that shit right now.
Alright,
TVZ.
Alright, TVZ, alright, the queen change. This is what everybody in the community, especially all Terran players, are like, sort of up in arms about, right? So, it lets Zerg get up to 80 drones sort of unharassed, undefended, or whatever, and it just makes it so that the late game comes that much more quickly. I sort of listened to a little bit of tidbit earlier of what QXC was saying about, the Ravens and whatnot. Oh yeah, thank you. But,
Is this even you, by the way? Make sure this is you. I googled
Yes,
Avilo
it is
SC2. Okay, good. Keep talking. Sorry.
Don't stretch it like that. Keep it the
But-
proper dimensions, asshole.
But yeah, the whole queen change is, it's what everybody's been talking about, and it allows Zerg to build queens and not put any larvae into units. So now, every Zerg is just building up to 80 drones safely, and they're getting a late game, that much quickly. And people are, going to the Ravens as an answer, but it takes like 3 minutes to get Hunter Seekers or point defense drones or whatever it is, to fight against the death ball in late game.
Weren't
So-
you saying that Ravens is the new metagame thing?
No,
Yeah.
TVZ late game is bullshit. That's what he's saying.
Indeed.
It's
Great.
not true that you can just go up to 80 drones. Like, queens cost money. You don't only have larvae as a resource. You can't spend all your larvae early on, because you're spending 600 murals on stuff to keep you safe. It's not actually entirely safe for everything. People just overrate the defensive effectiveness of queens. And they are still defensive units. Like, you're not supposed to be able to really attack into them, at least not that effectively. You're supposed to be greedy yourself, or do an all-in that's actually designed to beat the queen build, instead of doing an all-in that's designed to beat the metagame from 2 months ago. So, if you don't get...
that's the thing. Terrans don't want to have to all in every single game just
You
to,
don't have, like,
have a
greedy
chance.
right before that.
And that's another point. If you guys have read Lucky Fool's blog on Team Liquid, that's another point that
I missed
a
that
lot
one.
of people.
Source. I wish I'd read that. I don't know how I missed that. I regularly track Lucky Fool's blog.
Hey, there's a lot of people in the community that have a lot of good stuff to say, whether or not they're popular. Yeah. So just please let me finish. All right. In Lucky Fool's blog, he's describing this situation where, exactly like you said, Idra, Terrans need to do some sort of attack, or to break through the 6 queen type of build. But the thing is, Zergs have the opportunity to all in Terran back, whereas the Terran sort of has to play that the 3 command center build sort of blindly, and Zergs have the opportunity to kill them, whereas Terran doesn't have the opportunity to kill Zerg.
You're just saying you didn't want to have to all in every game. You can all in if you want. There's Blue Flame, Hellion plus Marine Marauder all in.
but
Do. But
No, but the point that he's trying to make here is when Zerg gets up to this like pretty decent economy, he's getting the 3 hatches or even 4 hatches, he can very quickly decide, okay, I've got my 3rd, but I'm not going to put drones, I'm just going to all in you instead. I'm going to use that 3rd hatchery as extra production. When Terran builds 3 command centers, that's it. We're macroing. There is no all in. There is no timing. And so that's kind of the whatever, like the annoying part about trying to play greedy against Zerg.
that's not really true. You can be aggressive off of 3 command centers. If you catch Zerg being too greedy, then you can kill them. If not, then it's not guaranteed to work. Just like if you put down the 3rd, 4th hatchery, your attack's not as likely to be effective as if you do a Roach Vein all in off of 2 bases. Like, it slows it down. You've invested more resources in other things.
Well, I mean,
It's
that's
the same way.
I mean, that's the thing, like, we could do that before, but the queen change is sort of like, it's sort of snowballed everything, like the creep spread comes out that much more quickly. The queens themselves, like Hellions, Banshees, everything that we would do to, like, bite into the Zerg's drone, the drone count or whatever, it's sort of like...
everything that you did do, not everything that you could do. The old builds, a lot of the old builds don't work, because...
Well, what builds
Blizzard
should we be using? What builds would you recommend?
told you can either run around with Hellions instead of sitting around and trying to stop creep spread that is going to happen, or you can not make a bunch of useless Hellions base timing later on, or you can do some of the really early Marine rushes like we saw. I forget who it was. It was a GSL Taran who did like an economic 2-racks in both his games. He would 2-racks just to force the Zerg to be uncomfortable, to force them to make units early on, and to not go the Mass Queen build immediately. And then they just pulled back and expanded behind it. Like, there's lots of things you can do to make Zerg uncomfortable. It's just the old builds don't work anymore because Blizzard decided that that early game situation was unfair for Zerg, so they made Queens better. Like, there's still aggression you can do. It's just the old ones don't work because Blizzard decided the old ones weren't fair.
Well,
and Terrans haven't. And a lot of foreign Terrans haven't taken the time to figure out what the new builds and the new styles are. But if you look at Korea, they do a lot of aggressive builds that do have quite a bit of success.
Yeah, but those are the only builds that are sort of having that success. Those sort of like all-any sort of 2-base timing type of builds, and that's what Terran players, we want to be able to build a unit late game that isn't just, if we're competing with, Zerg on equal terms in the late game, we want to be able to go into the late game and not just sort of die, like QXC was saying earlier about the Vikings, the Ravens. We sort of have to like judge at the ratio of your units. Like if you go full Broodlord Corruptor and we're building Thors, we just sort of die. If you go full Ultralist or whatever, it's sort of like, it flip-flops. You guys, the tech switches, like if we judge wrong, there's no turning back. We can't turn back the clock 4 minutes and make enough Ravens to counter the airball, and then we can't turn back the clock 4 minutes and make enough Marauders to counter the mass, the 8 Ultras at a time or whatever it is that comes off the ground. So there's a lot of situations where Terran just sort of dies, whereas, patches ago, that's why they nerfed the Ghost, because we could handle both tech switches, but, now it's sort of like do or die, and that's why Terrans sort of are not liking the late game. And also, if you guys have seen Fitzy here playing that sort of Mass Queen style late game, that's sort of an undeveloped thing as well that a lot of Zergs haven't, explored, and you don't even need the Corruptors anymore. You just sort of start accumulating Queens, and, what do you think about that? Players haven't really done that as well. There's still more there, I think.
No real players done the Queen thing, so I don't really want to judge it. I haven't used it. I haven't seen anyone good use it, so I don't know. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. As for everything else, if you make the wrong decisions, if you make bad decisions, you're going to lose. If you have Zerg with enough economy to switch back and forth at will, and you don't have enough economy to switch back and forth at will, then yes, you will lose if you don't make the right decisions. But shut the fuck up. As I was telling QXC,
hey, that's exactly what I was saying. They do have the economy because they have the drones now because of the Queen buff. So I agree with you.
Did you say to let Greg let you finish?
I was agreeing with Idra. The Zergs do have the economy, so Terran does lose. That's exactly
Zergs have the economy if you're fucking bad and you let them have the economy. As I was telling QXC, if you play the bio style, you do it well, you're aggressive enough and you expand behind it just as much as the Zerg is doing, which is possible, which can be done if you're not fucking terrible like you, then yes, you can have enough economy to match the Zerg's test switches. You can put up 4 starports with reactors and you can have a couple of Ravens out, and then you can deal with the air switch just fine, even if you don't see it immediately or even if you don't know it's coming before it's made.
Alright, without taking cheap shots at you like you just did at me, that's exactly what people are arguing against. This Queen buff lets you get that economy, so Terran does lose. I agree with you, Idra.
But it doesn't. That's not what I said at all.
I believe that is what you said, that if Zerg can power their economy...
I'm not going to talk to him anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, I believe that's what you said. If Zerg is able to get that economy established...
Well,
that's not what I said at all. I said you...
Can I explain what just happened?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically what you said is if Zerg is able to tech switch freely back and forth, then he's going to win, because if Terran cannot also tech switch back and forth, like if Zerg can go Broodlords then Ultras, then Broodlords and Ultras, and Terran can't switch between Marauders and Vikings, Terran's going to lose. And what Avila was trying to argue is that because of the Queen change, Zerg is able to do that consistently, and Terran is not.
Yeah, and the whole discussion we just had was about how, like, if you play the mid game properly, if you just realize whether or not Zerg is going for Infestor, ground-based, or Muta, then you can actually stay even with them on economy. If they're going for the ground-based style, mass bio, you can be aggressive without actually risking too much of your units, because you can always retreat off creep or make them burn the Funkles and the Banelings. You can mass expand behind that. And if they're going Muta, then you can actually just play the way that Terran's used to versus Zerg with mass bio Thor tank thing, and it works just fine because you're allowed to be much greedier early on because the Queen thing is much more passive than old Zerg openings. Like, I don't think it's true that the Queens give you a free pass to get Hive Tech and full econ without also giving Taran a free pass to do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he was arguing, regardless of
I know.
whether or not it's right.
Well, while that was happening, I got fucking
Think twice.
screamered, so that was fun. Go ahead, Jeff.
Think twice, chat, next time you guys ask for a TVZ debate. Just an hour and a half TVZ.
There you go. Let's see. We only actually have 2 other points, so...
Do it.
One of them was the MLG announcing the freemium thing. Jeff, I think I'm just going to get your point on this because you made a pretty good one on ITG, and I wanted you to restate it. I don't know if the other guys will have thoughts on it, but Greg, I'm so sorry, by the way. Anyways.
You're a fucker.
Greg, you held out a hell of a lot longer than I thought possible. You were growing before our eyes, my friend.
Jeff, talk to me about the MLG freemium
Okay.
thing, and well, just make fun of it for me because that's what I'm hoping.
So basically, you used to have to pay for an HD stream for you had to pay to watch the arenas. And what Sundance came out and announced was that it was such a big success, they're actually not going to charge for it anymore. If you're a gold member, you'll have access to the HD stream, but everybody else will have access to the free stream. So in the game, I went on a bit of I would say, a little bit of a rant about that, because the idea that someone would say that something did so well that you don't need to do it anymore in a business sense doesn't actually fucking make sense at all. Like, unless you bought lottery tickets and then you won, so now you don't have to buy lottery tickets anymore because you have $100 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the only scenario I can think of where that happens. Some people are playing devil's advocate and saying stuff like, well, maybe they secured sponsors that subsidizes that. And that's fine and good. Like, even in a utopian argument, like, let's go ahead and address that. Let's say that is what happened. Well, you're still not actually telling the public, which is what still is going on, and that is that your viewer count was dropping, which is not good. It's bad news. So whether you made money off it or not, the fact is your viewer count was dropping, but instead of addressing that, you kind of came out and said, well, it was so great, and you guys are so awesome, we don't have to do that anymore. Which is, that's Sundance's job, by the way, to take bad news, make it good, and have people believe it so that, things keep marching on in the great direction. So I don't really fault Sundance for it. But I was pretty shocked at how much the entire community absorbed that and was just like,
Yeah.
wow, they did such a good job with that, they're not going to charge anymore. How does that fucking make sense to so many people? I
thought it was that the championship event did so well that now the arenas no longer... that the arenas can switch to the freemium model because the championship event did so well.
From
And
what
arguably,
as far as I'm concerned.
if that's the case, then arguably the next championship event should be doing even better because more people should be watching the arena because they can watch it for free now. Like, I guess if you're going to get a bigger payoff from your championship event, then you can afford to give away free content to promote that event in the form of an arena.
From what I've heard from, or
That's
just
close to
gathered
that, yeah.
from tweets and just little stuff they've said publicly, it's not like, it's kind of vague, so it might not be, but it seems like they've gotten a sponsor to subsidize the events, and given that influx of money, that compensates for what they're losing from the pay-per-view, and they can go back up to the freemium model, which gets them more viewers. And like Tyler said, that brings in more viewership. It promotes their brand, gives them more long-term growth. Because they don't need that immediate money from the pay-per-view model that they were looking for at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I wish I could actually comment.
I buy all
I don't
that.
know.
Like,
I don't know
that
what's
is
going
the
on.
argument that's probably the closest to the truth, right? But the problem I was having and what I was making fun of was that they announced something that's not that. They did not say that. They did not come out and say that. They came out and said that.
They kind of did indirectly, saying it did so well that they no longer have to charge for it. That could mean that it's just they're not allowed to say it. I don't know. I can believe.
I know for a fact that their numbers were declining.
Oh, okay. That's
I'm
different.
sorry.
I did not know that.
I mean, and the thing is, you can infer that too. Like, even if you don't have the information that I do, like paying customers or something like that, unless you're offering new stuff and you're changing things up and you're bringing people to the table, it's always going to decline, as far as I'm concerned. That model's actually been stretched out across other PPV seasons as well. It's always gone the downward direction as opposed to the upward from the beginning. Like the first one, JP can't say this because obviously it's his job not to, but like the first one, probably their highest numbers. The second one, the second highest. The third highest, so on and so forth. That I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing.
Yeah, I can't actually comment on that. So, there's really not all that much to talk about. There's I've had people message me saying that NASL lied about the location of the finals, that it's not actually in Toronto. Do you guys? Is this just idiots being idiots, or is this actually?
Yes, it's in Toronto.
What?
The NASL finals?
What about idiots being idiots, though?
People are saying that it's not actually in Toronto. It's in some other town or something like that.
Oh.
That's near Toronto. I don't know.
Ontario, Canada, which I think is like. Am I incorrect on that? I thought it was Ontario, Canada. That's what everyone's talking about. But I think that's like Northgate to Seattle, which is a reference that nobody gets.
People are saying it's in.
Yeah,
it's in Mississauga. I can't even fucking pronounce that shit, but it's not Toronto.
That's not even a word.
Yeah, it's in the
Oh, actually, apparently it is an hour outside of Toronto, but it's still in Ontario.
Oh, well.
Okay, it's in Ontario, but an hour outside of Toronto, unless someone really fucked up Christmas Hotel.
Well, I don't think that's the biggest thing.
Well, let's get to the main point, other than we're locked up on where it is. I think it's going to be great. I think Canada's going to be fucking solid as shit, man. Yeah, I know it's not Canada on the greater part, but the Starcraft in Montreal is one of the biggest in the entire planet. Canadian fans have been down on Twitter asking for an MLG or some event of some kind. It's not an MLG, but it's an NASL, and I'll tell you what, that call's been answered, and I expect Canada to turn out big time. But also, I was saying, how fucking fortuitous is it? Like, the format for NASL is so brutal. Like, if you win your division, you've earned yourself the ability to still be eliminated in this like very small playoff against somebody else. But for Huck to still qualify and make it through there to play in front of his friends and family in Canada on a greater part, which they really do hold him up as like a hometown hero. I mean, I'm not making that up. Look at the pictures of when he went home and went to the mall to do a signing. So many people turned out. The mall thought it was like it had riot potential, was a fire hazard, so they kicked him out. Like it's actually going to be crazy.
Yeah, that's going down. Is that next weekend or the weekend after? It's the weekend after.
I think it's the weekend after.
Yeah, because Evo's next weekend, which
really excited about that.
It's gonna be pretty awesome. But other than that, I don't really have anything else to talk about. Are there any tournaments this weekend? The next GSL is on like the 4th of July. I don't think there's tournaments this weekend. Do you guys know? There's nothing, right?
Tournaments this weekend?
Yeah, for StarCraft 2.
Yeah, man. There's this little thing called the Evil Geniuses Masters Cup.
Oh, yeah.
The final.
Okay.
Some of the best teams in the whole frickin' planet will be playing, and myself, Greg, Barriston, and Zay will be commentating.
Hey, what teams are playing in that?
I believe it is
Slayers, Fnatic,
Complexity.
Mouse.
Oh, Complexity.
Mouse, Fnatic. Yeah. Complexity is in there, man.
When is
It's
that?
gonna be sick.
Is that kicking off Friday or Saturday?
I believe Saturday.
Okay. Where can people
What
check
time?
that out? What's the time and website, Jeff? Give the whole spiel.
Greg, do you know the website?
I'll look it up.
In the meantime, I think it'll be on One More Game TV on Twitch TV.
mcs.myeg.net.
There you
Isn't that
go.
our old site?
I don't know. But it's like an all-day thing. Like, it's
That's
going to
just
be
the
a
website.
shit ton of games. A lot of games. And I'm just going to drink like 20 monsters, so I promise to be entertaining.
Yeah, it looks like actually it says Complexity's going up against Slayers Saturday at noon Pacific time. I guess.
You guys should watch that.
It's 3 Eastern.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so tune in to that. Let's just go ahead and do shout-outs, and then we'll just wrap the show. I mentioned it was going to be short. There's really not all that much to talk about this week. So, QXC shout-outs.
Shoutouts to me? Yeah, no. Check me out on Twitter, ColeQXT. Check out Facebook, ComplexityGaming.com. big thanks to Gamma Gamers, Gamma Labs for putting us in the house and making that all possible, and Creative, Sound Blaster, PNY, QPad. Got my new QPad mouse. It's pretty sick. Got it in DreamHack. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you check out the next show. Check me out when I stream on Twitch.
All right. And what's your Twitch? Did you already say that?
Cole QXC.
All right. There you go. Tyler, shoutouts.
A little shout out to QXC, of course. Hey, don't laugh. Hey, trying to be respectful. Thanks to my team, our sponsors are the Little App Factory, Razer, and Twitch. You can watch my stream at twitch.tv/liquidtyler. That about does it for me.
I got a question, Tyler. What?
Yeah.
Has TL decided, or is the money that was raised with Liquid Rising all going to the director? Is that going to the team?
It's in. They said in the post, I think. First, they're going to pay back all the expenses that it costs to make it,
Okay.
and I don't know how much that is, and then the profit will be split between the site, teamliquid.net, and the team.
Okay.
So I assume the director had like some kind of, I mean, he had probably had like a
flights and
flat
stuff.
rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a ton of expenses, and then he probably got paid a flat rate. At least that's what it seems to imply.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the profits are going to the team and the site.
All right, interesting. Greg or Jeff, should we let, I guess, Greg, do you want to do all the shoutouts and we'll let Jeff say something afterwards? Okay.
Sure. Thanks to EG and all our sponsors, Intel, SteelSeries Monster, King's Hyperx, Beyond Game, and Sapphire. Follow me on Twitter at Idrigit. Thank you all for watching.
Jeff?
Still got to be Monster before SteelSeries, Greg.
I think that one's stuck in my brain. I don't know.
I know.
We'll see.
I hate it when that happens. Like we said, EGMCS this weekend. We're really excited about that. And then I'm actually can't say son of a bitch. It's like a pre-announcement of announcement. I can't say anything about that. But I know. It's fucking terrible.
I'll do it for you. Jeff has some kind of announcement to make about some announcement that'll.
Tyler, I hear you.
Just look up.
Tyler, I hear that you, Artosis, and TLO have an announcement to make pretty soon.
Oh, really? I've heard that too, and Dan's my elder, as he is for all of us. So I'll let him take the lead. I'll let him take the lead on that and do that when he feels it's good.
All right.
Well, it was suspicious when I hear Dan and Tigers that I'm thinking dissension, but there's no fucking way that's happened.
You never know, man. Artosis is a guy.
I can dream. Anyways, lots of travel coming up, lots of cool stuff. We've been streaming a lot. Check out Idrigit on Twitch TV, but also check out In Control TV on Twitch TV. Commentary and all that jazz. Add me on Twitter, EG In Control. Add Idrigit on Twitter at IDRAGIT, which is a Indian god with a 2-mile penis. That's about it. I want to say sorry to,
I don't think they
it was nice having a Velo on. I guess I'll try to stop taking so many jabs at him. I was touched by the attempt at a real debate that he made until he started yelling at Greg about waiting his turn and stuff. But that was cool. So, Velo, I appreciate you. You're a good little soldier for the Taran Army.
Yeah.
And I love everybody.
I do apologize for having to basically kill you on Skype, Avilo. I did it for the better of the show. Hopefully you understood, or understand, which I think you did on Skype. Remember, if you want to check out the VOD, it's over at youtube.com/itmeJP. Also, please subscribe while you're there. A little bit of a shout-out for the Collegiate Star League. They are looking, or they released their job page today, csstarleague.com/jobs. And I know a lot of people are always asking how they can get involved in esports. Well, there you go. Go check out the site, see what type of people they need, and if you fit any of the requirements, and then, of course, apply. So that is going to be State of the Game, guys. Thank you for coming out and being on the show. We will see you. Are we going to do a show next week? It's the 4th. Are you guys going to be around?
Can't answer that.
America.
Okay. We'll see.
America.
As always, we have no schedule with this show. So we'll see,
America.
you guys.
We're going to fight for that, though, right? We're going to eventually get a schedule, you think?
Yeah. Eventually, I would say we're about 3 or 4 weeks out. and we'll have a full-on schedule.
You probably
It
need a
also
manager.
says in the show notes, JP, that you're supposed to talk about Real Talk right now.
Oh, well, I think we're doing Real Talk with Destiny on Saturday and Sunday, which will be interesting. Wheats is next Friday. Nick and Dan is whenever they get back from London, which I think is Tuesday, so I don't know what day that's going to be on. And I think that's everyone that I have lined up. If not, I'll tweet about it or go check the thread on Team Liquid.
Can I make a request? Can you have Destiny incite drama about non-EG? Like, make it about
What do you want to do?
complexity
You want to do
or
complexity or TL?
doesn't have anything on TL. Oh, actually, yeah. When they blocked him from the stream. Yeah, please. That would be good.
All right, so TL, we'll do it with Destiny this week. Tune into that, guys. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching State of the Game. We're out.
Gotta say it's an honor to play you, Teeler, and let's give the audience the show of a lifetime.
Oh.